Hold onto your seats, Bulls fans, because the NBA rumor mill is on fire. What if I told you that Miami Heat superstar Bam Adebayo could be suiting up in Chicago Red next season? Welcome to Chicago Bulls News, your go-to source for the latest updates on the Windy City's favorite team. Today, we're diving into some explosive rumors that have been setting the basketball world on fire. That's right, we're talking about the possibility of Miami Heat star Bam Adebayo potentially joining the Chicago Bulls. Is this just another off-season pipe dream, or could we be on the verge of a landscape-altering trade? Let's break it all down. The rumor mill heats up. Alright, let's start with the basics. Multiple sources close to both the Bulls and the Heat have been buzzing about increased interest from Chicago's front office in acquiring Bam Adebayo. Now, we all know Bam's an absolute beast on both ends of the floor, but why are these rumors gaining so much traction now? Well, it seems the Bulls are at a crossroads. After a disappointing season that saw them miss the playoffs, it's clear that something needs to change. The current core of Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, and Nikola Vucevic just isn't cutting it in the ultra-competitive Eastern Conference. Enter Bam Adebayo, a player who could potentially solve multiple issues for the Bulls in one fell swoop. Why Bam makes sense for Chicago? Let's break down why Bam Adebayo would be such a perfect fit for the Bulls. Elite defense, the Bulls ranked 24th in defensive rating last season. Bam is a Defensive Player of the Year candidate who can guard all 5 positions. He'd immediately transform Chicago's defense. Playmaking from the center position, Bam averaged 3.2 assists per game last season. His ability to facilitate from the high post would add a new dimension to the Bulls' offense. Pick and roll dynamo, imagine Bam setting screens for Zach LaVine or DeMar DeRozan. The pick-and-roll game would be lethal. Youth and upside. At just 25 years old, Bam is entering his prime and still has room to grow. He fits the timeline if the Bulls want to rebuild around younger talent. Culture setter, Bam's work ethic and winning mentality would be infectious in the Bulls' locker room. The Miami Heat's perspective. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why on earth would the Miami Heat even consider trading away a cornerstone player like Bam Adebayo? Well, it's complicated, but there are a few factors at play. Luxury tax concerns. The Heat are staring down the barrel of some serious luxury tax bills in the coming years. Moving Bam's max contract could provide financial flexibility. Offensive limitations. As great as Bam is, his lack of outside shooting can sometimes clog the paint for drivers like Jimmy Butler. Asset accumulation. If the Heat decide to retool, getting a haul of young players and draft picks for Bam could set them up for the future. Frontcourt logjam. With the emergence of rookie Nikola Jovic and the solid play of veterans like Kevin Love, the Heat might feel they have enough frontcourt depth to survive Bam's departure. That being said, let's be real, trading away a player of Bam's caliber is not a decision the Heat would make lightly. Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra absolutely adore Bam, both as a player and as a person. It would take a Godfather offer to pry him away from South Beach. Now, I want to hear from you, Bulls Nation. Which of these packages do you think is most realistic? Or do you have a different trade idea? Let me know in the comments below. The salary cap implications. Before we get too excited, we need to talk about the elephant in the room, the salary cap. Bam Adebayo is in the second year of a 5-year, $163 million max contract. For the 2023-24 season, he's set to earn around $32.6 million. The Bulls would need to send out roughly $26 million in salary to make the trade work under CBA rules. This is why most realistic trade packages involve either Zach LaVine, owed $40 million next season, or a combination of younger players and Nikola Vucevic's expiring $22 million contract. It's also worth noting that acquiring Bam would likely push the Bulls into luxury tax territory, something ownership has been hesitant to do in recent years. Would they be willing to foot that bill for a player of Bam's caliber? That's the million-dollar question. The ripple effects. If the Bulls do manage to pull off a trade for Bam Adebayo, it would send shockwaves throughout the NBA. Here are some potential ripple effects. Eastern Conference power shift. The Bulls would immediately vault into contender status in the East, while the Heat would likely take a step back. Free agency implications. Adding a player of Bam's caliber could make Chicago a more attractive destination for free agents. Pressure on the front office. If the Bulls go all in for Bam, it would signal a win-now mentality. The pressure would be on to build a true contender around him. Coaching adjustments. Billy Donovan would need to revamp the Bulls' offensive and defensive schemes to maximize Bam's unique skill set. Player development focus. Younger Bulls players like Ayo Dosunmu and Dallin Terry would need to step up to fill the void left by any departed players. The counter-arguments. Now, it's my job to give you all sides of the story. So let's talk about some reasons why this trade might not happen. Miami's reluctance. The Heat have shown no indication that they're willing to part with Bam. He's a homegrown talent that embodies their culture. Chicago's asset pool. Do the Bulls really have enough attractive assets to entice Miami without completely getting their own team? Bam's happiness in Miami. By all accounts, Adebayo loves playing for the Heat. He might not welcome a trade. Fit concerns. While Bam would solve a lot of problems, his lack of outside shooting could create some of the same spacing issues the Bulls already face. Long-term contract. Taking on Bam's max deal is a huge commitment. It would limit Chicago's flexibility for years to come. These are all valid concerns that both front offices would need to carefully consider before pulling the trigger on any deal. The verdict. How likely is this trade? All right, Bulls fans, it's time for me to give you my honest opinion. How likely is it that we'll see Bam Adebayo in a Chicago Bulls uniform next season? On a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being no chance and 10 being start printing those Adebayo Bulls jerseys, I'm going to give this rumor a solid 6. Here's why. The Bulls clearly need to shake things up, and Bam Adebayo is exactly the type of two-way force that could transform this team. The front office has shown a willingness to make big moves. See, the DeMar DeRozan sign and trade, and they have some intriguing young assets to offer. However, the Miami Heat are one of the best-run organizations in the NBA. They don't make panic moves, and they value their homegrown stars. It would take a truly astronomical offer to pry Bam away from South Beach. My prediction? I think the Bulls will make a serious run at Bam Adebayo. They'll put together a strong offer that will at least make Pat Riley and the Heat brass think twice. But ultimately, I believe Miami will choose to hold onto their star center. That said, the NBA is a crazy league, and stranger things have happened. Remember, nobody saw the James Harden to Houston trade coming until it happened. So while I'm skeptical, I'm definitely not ruling it out entirely. And there you have it, Bulls Nation. The full breakdown of the Bam Adebayo to Chicago rumors. What do you think? Are you excited about the possibility of Bam in a Bulls uniform? Or do you think the team should focus its efforts elsewhere? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe for more Chicago Bulls news and analysis. Until next time, keep believing in the Bulls.